So I started taking it in April. Right. So you figure 1 month after diagnosis, I start a whole new world. And I can cry. The day was sunny that day. I'm sitting in the car with my husband. We leave University of Michigan to take this new elixir of knowledge in this bottle in form of pills. I can't even remember how many a day I had to take with crisantinib was the first one. And so I started taking them. We had our lunch, and then not too much time went by till I felt different. I did feel the side effects of it a little bit, but something started kind of clearing up a little bit in my throat area where I was always challenged after surgery of having the and whatnot. But I started being a little bit more tolerable to what was going on with my body. I felt different. I felt that I said, wait a minute, something's different. And I lived 3 years on it, 3.5 years on it. And I maintained side effects, but I also knew when it stopped working. And that's a scary place to be also. That's when I knew I woke up to another reality, is that, oh, I can't put all my faith. I can't put all my hope into these targeted treatments. So now what? That's another topic, Stephanie.
It's good for patients and caregivers to have those expectations set, right? And then I also love that you're talking about the need for constant research. This is why clinical trials are so important, because you've got these, like crisantinib that were approved, and you just need them to be approved in time for you. But then at some point, you know that there's resistance and the cancer sometimes finds a way around it. So what's the next thing? And that's why these clinical trials are constantly being done. Do you have a message about that, the importance of clinical trials and that research, what it means to you?
Oh, absolutely. I am all in for clinical trials and research. I know that I participated in a clinical trial during May 2015 through to July 2015. And I remember like it was yesterday, because that's when I made it the decision to come out into retirement. I could not do the clinical trial at that time. It was very intense. I can't, it was like, I don't know, 3 times a week driving to University of Michigan, which was 2.5 hours. And then there were complications and understanding, was this clinical trial that I was participating in, would there be any help to me in regards to gas and transportation? That got confusing with the university. And so we worked through that. So I wanted the world to see this process of this new strange lung cancer that's rare. Okay, no one's ever really heard of it before. And look at me, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm Black. And I'm trying to figure out, like, is there anybody else that look like me that has this? Sorry, I can laugh because I've learned how to laugh through this process. So, but yes, I am all for clinical trials. And that's another thing. Yeah, I just like being transparent, and I like being authentic and real. There are not a lot of African Americans who participate in trials in the first place, but I did. I went on ahead and did it. I didn't like how it was working with my body. And so by July 2015, the physician assistant, I just love her to death, at University of Michigan. She looked at me in my eyes and she said, Shyreece, this is not the quality of life we want for you. And you don't have to do this. And so, because I was having a bad time with it, oh my gosh. And so she pulled me off. I participate in trials and I do support research where I can.
Yes, right. And I think there's a couple points there. One is clinical trials are, someone put it as tomorrow's treatment today. Sometimes it can, give you access to something that's not yet on the market. And the other part is helping people for research. And we're going to talk, by the way, about the Black patient experience, Shyreece. So I appreciate you bringing that up. But before we do, my last question about self-advocacy, which I think has been a theme here that's come up at different points of your experience so far. What is your message overall to the patient, to the caregiver right now who's watching this, who's a little bit nervous, who knows logically speaking, irrationally, I should speak up, but it's a little bit hard to do in the moment? What is your message?
You have to have a resolve. There's a resolve that in this journey, it will require 3 components of you: mind, body, and spirit. You cannot afford to ignore any one of those components. They all have the same level of importance to your overall well-being, and as well as how effective the treatment is going to work. Everybody is different. That's correct. But one thing remains a fact, and I wish that there was enough time to do scientific research on the survey that most cancer patients must complete prior to their return visit with their doctor, which is, how are any one of these everyday circumstances under these categories, and they have them listed: family, spiritual, financial. How are any one of these affecting you this week on the scale of 1 to 10? And if your spiritual balance and inward being balance is off, then it will affect the success of the treatment is being prescribed to you. So keep that in mind on your journey. Mind, body, and soul. All 3 of those components are equally important as you journey in your cancer walk.
That's so much wisdom right there, right? It's about taking care of all parts of you. And I love that. Thank you, Shyreece. My last question on this is, when you think about the patient-doctor relationship and the paradigm we've been living in, where it's shifting, but it's still slow from, doctor knows best, I will sit here and listen, versus I need to be in charge of my own cancer care, my own health care in general. What is that message to doctors, to patients, about the need for more patient self-advocacy, for more listening to patients?
First of all, I would like to take this opportunity too, as we're winding up that section, to thank the collaboration of all of the doctors, especially the ones that I've had at University of Michigan, as well as Stanford Healthcare. I think that they are a phenomenal team. The minute that I walked in to Stanford Healthcare, they knew my backstory. That's what's on the street. We say that there's a word on the street: backstory. What's your backstory? And then they'll say, well, I'm just living my backstory right now. Well, Stanford, they knew my backstory. I was shocked about that. And they looked at it intently. And then they had a plan on where they would like to go. And then it was easy for me to trust in that. So there were some components that I was looking for in their approach. They said the first impression, it could, it's important. So they had a great first impression, which is, let us take a little time. We don't need you to fill out the paperwork of a new patient today, Shyreece, just to know you. No, we went and did a little background work on you. So to know the patient is very important to me. If somebody's going to take the time to know you, then yes, that's a place, that a good starting place to where we can enter into a healthy collaborative. Now I have to say collaborate still, because this is my temple. This is my temple. I am not a guinea pig. I'm not a lab rat. This is my temple, and nobody walks in this temple but me. So yes, there's some parts of me that I have to bring to the table, because I can't expect them to know everything there is to know unless I tell them. There's some things that I have to share as well. So it's going to take that collaboration in order to, and then also when you're presented with options, that's all they're doing, is presenting you with options. At the end of the day, you have to make a decision. So my advice, look, folks, study your data, and when you're presented with some options, and looking at the before and after your cancer treatment, because the doctors may not know everything before your cancer diagnosis. Okay, they're not gods, they're your doctor. Okay, so have a participative approach to your care.